Good morning, grade 7. How are you doing?
Mm,
Your major exam or your second periodical test is this Friday, that's December 18 and 8 a.m. So, are you ready for your exam? What do you think? Grade 7? Are you ready for your exam?
okay.
Are you ready for your exam? Grade 7? Are you still with me? Well, um, we'll be, visiting again our previous topic. We are done visiting last time with Module 1. Let's move now to the Module 2, which is your animal and plant cell. Right? Just give me a second. I will bring you again to animal and plant cell. Let me share my screen. But before anything else, I want you to open your camera. Please turn on your camera so that I can see you. At the same time, interact with the discussion. This is the second time around. Oh no, this is the third time or fourth time around that I'll be discussing the same topic. I know that this topic has a lot of terminologies. That's why I want you to ask questions anytime. Alright? Grade 7?
Yes.
Okay. Let's can you see my shared screen now? Alright.
Yeah.
So again, going back to the discussion, we already discussed the cell theory. Right? Cell theory started with Robert Hooke's discovery. Okay? He actually discovered a cork under the microscope, a dead cork, right? And he coined the term cell because he actually saw a cell. It looks like a room. Cell means a room, okay? Looks like a vacant room. So he coined it as cell. And followed by Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, observations. He actually observed cells under the microscope. After 200 years, it became generally accepted that all living things are made up of cells. It was followed by a German botanist, Matthias Jacob Sliden, which focuses on the study of plant cells, right? And again, another um, physiologist, a German physiologist, studied animal cell in 1839 in the person of Theodore Schwann. Please take down important um, persons involved, important scientists involved, because this will come out in your exam. Grade 7, are you still with me?
Yes.
Be sure that you're taking down notes because these are the important details. I am now giving you the important details of your second periodical test, right? And Rodolphe Carl Virchow proposed the third tenet, which states that all cells come from other cells through the process of cell division. Okay, to sum up everything, from Sliden, Schwann, and Virchow, they sum up the cell theory, which states that number one, all organisms are composed of one or more cells. That's number one. Number two, cells are the smallest and basic unit of structure and function in an organism or in organism. That's number 2. Number 3, cells arise only from previously existing cells. So cells came from cells, right? Okay. A living thing is always came from a living thing, not another way around. Okay. That's the third tenet. So let's move now to organelles. Okay. Again, the first one, when you say organelle, it is a subcellular structure. When you say subcellular, it is inside the cell. Okay. At the same time, it is actually coined or termed organelle simply because it is little organs. It looks like organs inside the cell or little organs. That's organelle. There are a lot of organelles inside the cell. First would be the plasma membrane, the outermost part of the cell. Okay, plasma membrane or cellular membrane. It is the same, right? It is the organelle that encapsulates the contents of the cell. It is actually the one who covers the entire cell. Apart from it, plasma membrane has a vital role in regulating movements of substances in and out of the cell. At the same time, this plasma membrane is composed of two layers of phospholipids, or shall we say phospholipids bilayer, right? When you say phospholipids, phosphorus and lipids. Phosphorus and fats with two layers. This is to what? To regulate the movement of substances in and out of the cell, right? Other terms for that is if you're going to go up, I will give you some terminologies. Hydrophobic and hydrophilic. Hydrophobic, water hating. Hydrophilic, water loving. So this is how the cell actually regulates fluid or substances. Let's move now to cell wall. Okay. By the way, cell membrane can actually found in animal cell. Again, cell membrane can be found in animal cell. Because we cannot create our own food, we are considered as what? We are considered as heterotrophs, heterotrophic, or consumers. We consume rather than produce, right? The second organelle is the cell wall. Okay? It is the most important component of plant cell. Cell wall can be found in plant cell and bacterial cell. Okay? Again, cell wall can be found in plant cell and bacterial cell. Why? Cell wall in plant cell is composed of what? Is composed or chiefly composed of cellulose fibers. That is why it is really advisable that you eat a lot of vegetables, and fruits because they contain a lot of cellulose fibers or cell wall, which can actually clean your large intestine or your colon. Right? Again, in plant cell wall is chiefly composed of cellulose fibers. While in bacterial cell, okay, it is composed of peptidoglycan. This is a chain of polysaccharides and lipopolysaccharides or lipids or fats. This is the one being destroyed by your antibiotics. Let's move now to cytoplasm. Your cytoplasm is composed of protoplasm, in which all other cell organelles are suspended. This is a gel, no? It looks like a gel, right? All of the organelles are being suspended in the cytoplasm. It is really essential to have cytoplasm. Without cytoplasm, these organelles cannot actually work on, right? Nucleus, one of the important organelle. Why? Nucleus is the storehouse of genetic information in the form of DNA. Without nucleus also, cell cannot actually perform cell division. Cell cannot transfer, a cell cannot transfer its genetic information. Remember that this is considered as your, if it is a computer, this is your CPU. All of these information are being stored there. In eukaryotic cell, again, eukaryotic cell is what? Yo means true. Karyon or karyotic means nucleus. In a eukaryotic cell, the nucleus is enclosed in a nuclear membrane. So it is actually covered by a membrane called nuclear membrane. Other term, this is nuclear envelope. It's the same. It is the organelle that controls the hereditary traits of an organism by directing such as protein synthesis and cell division, among others. Remember that cell division is really important. Why? This is now the time that the cell or the organism pass its genetic information or genetic characteristic through heredity. Okay? Through heredity. And by this means, cells can replicate itself through cell division. In prokaryotes, pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus or primitive type of cell, right? In prokaryotes, the DNA lacks nuclear envelope or the nucleus lacks nuclear membrane. Therefore, the genetic material therefore is scattered. Hence, it has nucleoid instead of nucleus. Okay, again, in prokaryotes, in bacteria, um, it, the cell wall there or the nucleus there lacks nuclear membrane. It doesn't contain a nuclear membrane or nuclear bound membrane. Therefore, the genetic material is scattered, hence it has nucleoid rather than nucleus. Right? Are you still with me? Grade 7?
Yes.
Okay, please ask questions if you have something to ask in the topic. At the same time, can I ask you something? Um, as what I had observed, in the morning, I have a lot of students. But by afternoon, I have only few students. Why is that so? Again, I want you to, appreciate your lessons because you'll be dealing with this your entire stay in Southbrook Academy. At the same time, you'll be dealing with this in your senior high and your college. You have science in architecture. Okay, how about computer? Definitely, but still the same. You'll be dealing with this with your entire stay in the academy, in Southbrook Academy. At the same time, um, huh? Are you sure? Okay. Grade 7. Can I ask you when is your computer 7? When is your computer 7?
Afternoon, sir, at 1.
Okay. Your computer 7 is this afternoon, every Wednesday at 1, right? I want you to be serious with your lessons because, again, you'll be dealing with this entire day. At the same time, you will use this knowledge in your higher years. Take note, you will use this knowledge in your higher years, right? Let's continue. Let's move now to ribosomes. Ribosomes, these are organelles that contain RNA and specific proteins within the cytoplasm. What is really interesting with ribosomes, they are considered as the protein factory of the cell. Again, they are considered as protein factory of the cell. Since they are the protein factory of the cell, they create a lot of proteins in the process. Okay? They create a lot of proteins in the process. which the other organelles are actually used, or shall we say processed. Remember that your cell has products also, and this includes your what? Your proteins. This process involves decoding the information contained by the messenger RNA, okay, and using amino acid to produce the required proteins. They're considered. There are two types of ribosomes. First one is, by the way, naming ribosomes depends on their placement, or their where they actually placed. Free ribosomes, they're actually scattered in the cytoplasm. Hence, they're called free ribosomes. The second one is attached ribosomes. Attached ribosomes, they're actually they're actually attached to the RAP endoplasmic reticulum. Hence, RAP-ER is called RAF. What makes RAP-ER RAF is the attached ribosomes. The next one, by the way, any questions so far? Any questions so far, grade 7?
None. No.
None.
Alright. The next one is another important organelle. It is called mitochondria. This is considered as the powerhouse of the cell. Powerhouse in the sense that it actually gives power to the cell, or gives energy to the cell. Mitochondria are some of the largest organelle within the cell. It plays important role in respiration and what? And it generates ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Again, it generates ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the energy currency of the cell. Okay, again, ATP is the energy currency of the cell. This is the energy being used by the cell in all its metabolic processes. From the substrate in the presence of oxygen. Remember that these cells needs oxygen to perform its metabolic processes. We need oxygen. Plants also need oxygen for metabolic processes. It is the energy currency of the cell. ATP stores energy in the form of chemical bonds, and it's released whenever needed by the virus cell functions. Yes. Vacuoles. Let's move now to vacuoles. Vacuoles may be described as space inside the cell that does not contain cytoplasm. Okay, it is actually an empty space if you're going to look at it in the microscope. It is surrounded by a membrane filled with a fluid. So, what are the functions of vacuoles? It stores various molecules, including enzymes, waste products of the cell, water, and even food material depending on type of the cell. Okay, vacuoles in plant cell stores water and stores what? Stores food. Remember that your plants are considered producers. It produced their own food. And where does this food being stored? It is actually stored in the vacuoles. In animal cell, it's different because in animal cell, vacuoles contain enzymes which actually dissolves foreign substances and your waste materials. It is actually carried by the vacuoles in order to be ejected out of the cell. Let's move now to cytoskeleton. Questions? Do you have any questions? Questions so far?
None.
Right. Let's move now to cytoskeleton. Cyto means cell, right? Skeleton, it is the what? If you're going to, what comes into your mind, you hear the word skeleton, skeletal. This is the one being what? This is the reinforcement of the cell. Okay. Another term, it is the one that protects the cell. Okay. It is made up of microtubules and microfilaments. By spreading throughout the cell, cytoskeleton maintains the shape of the cell. It is the one who protects the cell also, ensuring elasticity to make it more elastic. That is why if you're going to um, stretch your skin cells, it will return to its original shape because of the cytoskeleton. Okay? Cytoskeleton also involved in the anchoring of nucleus and supporting the cell content. This is the one who supports the content of the cell at the same time, considered as the anchorage of the cell. Let's move now to plastids. Plastids can only be found in plant cells. That is why these plastids are important. Let's take a look at why plastids are important in a plant cell. These are type of organelle found only in plant cell and algae. Are you familiar with algae? Are you familiar with algae? Have you heard the word algae or
No.
okay.
No.
Algae, you can see this one in in the sea, in the ocean, no? Other term in vernacular it is called lumot. Lumot ba? The green one, have you seen lumot? Grade 7? Grade 7.
Yes. Hmm?
Okay. It is lumot, no? If you're going to look at it, it is colored green, right? Because this algae is considered as the food of the plant. At the same time, these algae are photosynthetic. They can perform photosynthesis. Okay? There, there are different types of plastids that include chloroplasts, chromoplasts, generatoplasts, and the leucoplasts. Chloroplasts, this contains chlorophyll that captures energy and sunlight for photosynthesis. That is why your leaves colored green because there are some chloroplasts there, which stores chlorophyll. Okay, and the second one is the chromoplasts. Okay, they are present in certain photosynthetic eukaryotes. They are primarily involved in the production and storage of pigments called carotenoid pigments, carotene. That's why your plants sometimes will be colored orange, yellow. That is because of the carotenoid pigments. These pigments are involved in the absorbing of light as well as protecting chlorophyll in some plants. The third one is the gerontoplasts. Okay, this type of plastid develop from the chloroplasts during senescence or foliage plants. Okay, padung malaya. Okay, padung na siya mamatay ang plant. Okay, gerontoplasts play an important role in salvaging nutrients. Salvaging. The word salvage is to save. Salvation, save. No? This is not to kill. Okay? Again, the word salvaging is to save nutrients. Okay? And other important materials as a cell dies. Padung na mamatay ang plant, this plays important role to save the other nutrients for survival. Leucoplasts. Now, the last one is the leucoplast. Compared to other plastids, leucoplasts are unpigmented organelles. They have specialized functions for storage of starch, lipids, and proteins. Okay. Let's move now to endoplasmic reticulums. So they're found in the eukaryotic cell. Endoplasmic reticulum, or ER, is an organelle that forms an interconnected network of flattened sacs or cisternae. It looks like flattened sacs under the microscope. ER is enclosed with the membrane. Okay? ER is divided into two regions that vary in structure and functions. There are two types of ER. First one is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum or the smooth ER. Now, your smooth ER is named because it lacks ribosomes. Remember the ribosomes that we discussed a while ago? Okay. This is now the time that the ribosomes or the attached ribosomes are being attached in the wrap endoplasmic reticulum. Right? First, let's tackle smooth endoplasmic reticulum or smooth ER. What is really the function of the smooth ER? Smooth ER is directly involved in the synthesis of lipids and carbohydrates that are used to build the cell membrane. Again, smooth ER are responsible or directly responsible or involved in the synthesis of lipids and carbohydrates that are being used to build the cell membrane. Hence, they are actually in the scattered in the cytoplasm. How about the wrapped endoplasmic reticulum? Wrapped endoplasmic reticulum has a lot of attached ribosomes in the surface. It is directly involved in the manufacturing of virus proteins in the cell. Okay? It is involved in the production of antibodies, insulin, and other transportation of proteins into the smooth ER. Okay, again, it is directly involved in the production of antibodies, insulin, as well as the transportation of proteins into the smooth ER. Question, grade 7. Still you don't have question? Grade 7.
No, sir.
No.
Okay, let's move now to centrioles. Centrioles are cylindrical organelles found in most eukaryotic cells. They contain tube-shaped molecules known as microtubules. Microtubules is a separate topic, right? We will be discussing microtubules in higher years. But again, these are small tubes, no? Tube-like shape that help separate chromosomes and move them during cell division. Okay. During cell division, your chromosomes will be aligned in the center of the nucleus, a center of the cell. Your nucleus, the covering of the nucleus will be dissolved and exposing now your chromosomes. Your chromosomes will be aligned in the center of the cell and will be pulled birahon by the centrioles. Okay? Birahon na sa centrioles. That's the purpose of your centrioles. Okay? Next, we have centrosome. This is the small dense region of the cytoplasm that serves as the microtubule organizing center. This is where your centrioles is being organized. Okay? Let's move now to lysosome. Lysosome is commonly referred to as sacks of enzymes. Okay? Other term, it is actually termed as suicide bomb of the cell, since it actually contains enzymes, hydrolytic enzymes that can actually dissolve the cell. What is really the function of the lysosome? They are membranous organelle that contain acidic enzymes or hydrolase enzymes or hydrolytic enzymes that serves to digest virus micromolecules such as lipids and nucleic acid in the cell. Remember the one that I discussed a while ago, that these lysosomes are considered as the suicide bomb of the cell. Why? Once the cell is damaged, this lysosome will be releasing a hydrolytic enzyme that will digest the cell. Conditions inside the lysosome have been shown to be acidic. These conditions are maintained by the lysosome membrane, thus providing favorable conditions for the enzymes to perform their function. Let's move now to Golgi apparatus or Golgi bodies, or Golgi apparatus or Golgi bodies. These are found in eukaryotic cell again, and are highly folded into cisternae of flattened sacs. They are enclosed in a membrane that varies thickness from different regions. In the cell, remember, this Golgi apparatus actively involved in the manufacturing, storage, as well as transportation of products from the ER. Okay, again, in the cell, Golgi apparatus is actively involved in the manufacturing, storage, as well as transportation of products from the ER. Let's move now to the organs for locomotion. Means locomotion, movement. No? It actually organs for movement. How this cell moves. Okay. Let's have cilia first. Cilia, that's the plural. Singular is cilium. Okay, it looks like little hairs with much shorter length. They move in coordinated fashion like the motion oars in a rowing team. It looks like hairs, little hairs. Okay, just like you can see cilia in your number one example is the fallopian tube. This is to move the egg cell out from the what? From the ovary. What else? In your esophagus, it is highly ciliated because this is to facilitate the movement of food or bolus or bowl of food. Let's move now to flagella. Flagella or flagella is the plural. Flagellum is singular. It looks like a whip or a tail for locomotion or movement. One good example is your sperm cell. Your sperm cell contains flagella, which enables the sperm to swim, right? By the way, this cilia and flagella contains a lot of mitochondria because these organelles uses a lot also of energy, okay? Because these are organs for locomotion. Let's have a comparison between animal and plant cell. Plants are considered or autotrophs or what? Producers. Okay, again, plants are considered autotrophs or producers. It means that it can create or manufacture their own food with the process of photosynthesis. It happens in the chloroplast. Remember, the chloroplast contains a green pigment called chlorophyll. The plant cell is covered and protected by a hard cell wall, which is chiefly composed of cellulose fibers, making them sturdy and have less movements. Okay? Plants do move. Yes, correct. They move through taxis. Okay? They move through taxis. Like for example, and trophism. Like for example, if the plant moves towards the light, it is called phototrophism. If the plant moves towards the water, it is called hydrotrophism. So these are the movements of plants. Since plants are autotrophs, they can make their own food. Therefore, it has a large vacuole which stores food and water. If you're going to look at a plant cell, the vacuoles are bigger than your nucleus because, again, it creates its own food and stores the food and water in the vacuoles. How about in animal cells? Animals are considered heterotrophs or they're considered as consumers. We consume. Okay? We consume the producers. It means that it cannot create their own food and rely on the autotrophs for nutrition or for food. They are considered as consumers because they consume. Animals is protected by a plasma membrane or cellular membrane, which is composed of phospholipid bilayer or two layers of phospholipids. Since animals are considered heterotrophs, they don't have plastids. Instead, vacuoles are present, but it is in small form. Why? Because vacuoles in animal cell what? Contains what? Contains enzymes and contains waste materials to be ejected out of the cell. So this is now the comparison of your animal and plant cell. In the plant cell, if you're going to look at in the plant cell, you can see chloroplast, which contains pigment called chlorophyll for photosynthesis. And you can also see cell wall, which is composed or chiefly made of cellulose fibers. In animal cell, you can see centrioles, which is actually organized in the centrosome and functions as to the one who pulls actually the what? It pulls actually the what? Your chromosomes. Okay, during cell division. Okay. Question so far? Question so far?
None.
All right. I think we already tackled everything which is covered or which are your um we already tackled everything
I
for your
told you this. What's